What's up? It's Autumn.
It's Katie.
And this is Seriously. Yeah. Okay. So obviously things are a little bit different today, like not our normal. We are doing a Zoom episode this week. So bear with us. We're going to see how this turns out.
It's going to be amazing.
I mean, I trust it.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no computer malfunctions. I'm not even going to touch my laptop. I'm just going to leave it. This lighting has been jerry rigged.
Awesome.
Yeah, you did. But I'm scared.
Yeah. Just don't.
It's
no
propped.
Movements, no sneezing.
No, nothing. None of the above.
We should be okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm already starting. I know I'm already starting because
my face?
No, because I feel like people. Because I was like, is that a plate on your head? Like what? And then I saw, there's a plate on the wall. All right, I see it.
It's decor, if you will, but also I have a plate on my head now.
Also, yes, it's very cute. So this week in particular, we got a request to talk about COVID. Obviously that is on everybody's mind in one way or another. And not about it in particular, because dear God, I don't think that I could stand an hour of talking about, is it fake news? Is it real? Should we be like, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But just basically how all of this is affecting people, how it's affecting us and people. Right. Yeah. Right. Because regardless of whatever, however, I mean, that aspect of it is legit and real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hold on. I had my headphones on, but I think I'm going to try it without my headphones. Oh God. Oh,
don't touch it.
Oh God. Oh God.
Like,
Okay. All right. I'm good. Okay. Back away. Back. I feel like
it's like a Jenga piece. You didn't, just you pulled the right one out.
Look, big girl problems. Okay. Sorry. That was a thing. That was a legit thing. Sorry. Anyway,
I support you, and that, no pun intended. You're welcome.
Yeah, you support me. Got it. Like a bra strap. Got it. Yeah. But anyway, so we were asked to do this episode on just what people are going through and how they're coping with it and all those other kinds of things. So I guess, well, first, I mean, because it is our norm, anything. I know you just got off work and you're like a little out of sorts, but I know, but anything going on?
So I think, I thought about this when we were talking about the fact that we had gotten.
Well, before you get into that, I just mean in general. Anything going on in general?
Oh God, no. I mean, life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My kids are up a wall when I am home, and that's par for the course. They're good. They're behaving. They're doing school. Okay. Luckily, they're teenagers, so they're kind of self-sufficient in that regard. I'm not having to do a whole lot of teaching because God help us all. They would be in dire straits.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not like math. I'd be like, Google it.
Well, I mean, but you know, like, the basics.
I can help them with writing assignments and science.
Well, see, there you go.
Have you heard of this Common Core nonsense?
Oh my God.
Look, all my teacher friends, God help you and God bless you, because I don't know how y'all do it. It's like
lies.
Purple alien plus a banana.
Yeah.
Minus
math is lies.
A hat equals a cat, and I don't understand how that comes out.
It's the most roundabout way to get to what I feel like is the most basic of things. Like, why do you have to break this down by hundreds, tens, fives, ones? Just what's 252 plus 5? Like, I don't need 200. Add it to 50. Add it to 1.
I was lost. So thank God both my kids are in upper level math stuff, and even more lost there. So of course they're not asking me for help. So I'm like, call a friend. Yeah. Mathematician. I don't know. Anyway,
you don't have to actually know the answer. You just have to know where to get the answer. Just be resourceful. That's it. That's your own job.
That's fine. I don't know if we've talked about this yet. I know you and I have, but I mean on the show in
Oh,
particular. But I'm back in school, kind of full time
yep.
ish, mostly full time. I'm taking 3 classes this semester to work towards my master's eventually.
Okay.
But it's just on top of work, which we are essential personnel. So a full schedule already, and then adding school, and then life, and then dealing with everybody at home, and so
Wow.
yeah, it's been a lot.
That's a
But
lot. That's a lot.
nothing crazy this week as far as whatever, but I think we would be beneficial to jump into the topic because I think that's kind of where everybody is. But
Yeah.
what'd
Well,
you do?
yeah, my thing actually does have very much to do with the topic. So, I am under quarantine, legitimate quarantine. Um, Not just, governor's orders, but doctor's orders. So I am not sick, as you can see.
Clearly, but you look good if you are.
Clearly.
Girl.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I am not sick. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust God.
Yep. Don't adjust anymore though.
Oh, sorry. um, no, but so for the last 2 days, I guess. Yeah, or today's it's Friday, since Friday. Today's Sunday. And so I have been relegated to not just my house, but to my room, which feels like punishment, like when you were 10 and had to be grounded and sent to your room. That's kind of where I am right now. Yeah. And when I go downstairs, like to get a snack or whatever, I have to put a mask on in my house. So if you think it's bad that you have to wear a mask like out to the store, I have to wear a mask in my house. So there's that as well. And I'll be tested on this coming Friday.
Okay.
To see where I am with things. So, which I have zero doubt. It was for an exposure, obviously.
Yeah.
So not because I'm symptomatic or sick in any way. So I'm sure that'll be negative. I have every confidence of that. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit out of sorts. But yesterday, to kind of cheer myself up, I did get dressed, like full hair and makeup, and I had a photo shoot in my bed.
Girl, I thought about that too. I was like, maybe one of these, since we're going to be kind of having to do this for probably maybe the next one too.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Like, let's get super decked out and just.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I had like 3 outfits.
Is that why you had to change out the SD card in the phone earlier?
Yeah. Yeah. It's out of control. Whole entire photo shoot. Whole entire lighting and everything was not a game. Hair, makeup.
I'm sure it's going to be all. You just.
Don't judge me. No. I mean, it was a good time. I did have fun. And I felt pretty, so that I was there. That was what was important. So, but anyway, so that's just like right into what we're basically talking about today, is just what is going on, how is it affecting people, and just I guess some motivation, obviously, and some takeaways to how to work through it. So, how are you? Like, are you?
So I think for us it's a little bit different because we are essential personnel. And without getting too much into that, there's a lot of folks that are essential personnel, but outside
for
the
different reasons, obviously.
But yeah. And that itself brings a whole different level of stress. So let's just talk there for a second. For the essential personnel.
Okay.
Not only are you concerned now about going to work and getting sick yourself, but it's a whole different ballgame when you're talking about possibly bringing it home to your family.
Right.
And even though we don't think about it or talk about it too much, I think it's one of those things that's there, and we're just kind of letting it sit and settle, and that can really build and build and build and build.
It's a level of anxiety.
Right. So like if you're a first responder, coming home at the end of your shift may not be a guarantee, but you know that. But that's just for you. It affects your family, of course. But in this case, now you're concerned about getting your family sick and it potentially being a really big thing, hospitalizations, whatever the case may be, worst case scenario. And that's a whole different stressor.
Right.
And I think like, as far as trying to minimize that stress for me and my family, I know we've tried to be outside a lot as best we can when it's nice. And obviously maintaining social distancing from like other family members and so on. But really, now that the weather's starting to break, we've been doing more and more outside. I don't even care if it's in our backyard. I don't care if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
playing badminton
Right.
or
Well,
picking up
getting
dog crap.
outside and having fresh air and
Oh,
sunlight,
yeah.
and all those
That's
things are going to
fine.
improve your mood anyway. But just to where you were going with that, as far as being essential personnel, you're right. It's there's basically almost a situation where it's like you're not able to hide from it,
Right.
right? Like, so other people may be like, oh, I'm working from home, or I'm not working at all, but which that in and of itself is bringing up a whole different level of stress. People who are not working, and so
Yeah.
obviously income is
I was gonna say I definitely was thinking about some of that stuff too. So yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So obviously that's a huge stressor as well on the completely opposite end of the spectrum. So you have these range of emotions that people are going through for very valid reasons all over the map, and nobody's stressors are more or less than anybody else's. You know what I mean? So I know that sometimes we get into this thing where we want to say, just be grateful for, and absolutely 100%, be grateful that you're working. You're essential personnel, be grateful that you're working. Right. But but it doesn't take away from what you are feeling, and that is valid. It is valid for you to feel stressed and concerned and nervous about yourself, and obviously bringing home, especially if you have like parents living with you, or your kids, and just what I mean, just all those things. I mean, I can't imagine having like brand new babies at home right now, or
being pregnant. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Or even like taking care of, like you said, your parents, if you have like, folks that are living in the same household, like that has to be a whole different stress that nobody has really thought to even consider facing,
Right. So I think, I would say this with the biggest thing, just like with anything, obviously there's no way to completely rid yourself of any sort of risk factors with anything. You know what I mean? Even birth control is not 100%. You get pretty damn close, but it's not 100%, right?
Speaking of babies, you know what happens when things like this happen, right?
There's lots of babies that happen. Oh, we're going to get to that.
You know what they're going to be called, though?
I don't want to talk about it. Quarantina.
Coronials. I heard that the other day. I was nah, leave. Coronials. Tell me that's not brilliant.
That's awesome. I like it.
Kudos.
I do like it. Yeah. Coronavilles. Good time. A little awkward, but good times. So that just completely threw my train of thought.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. But anyway, so nothing's 100%, but you do the best that you can, and you have to leave the rest to the rest. You know what I mean? So this walking around in perpetual. Do I have you muted? Can you hear me?
I can hear
you. Okay, good. You have to leave the rest to the rest, right? So walking around with this spirit of fear where everything is making you anxious and you're just like, oh my God, I have to be in this plastic bubble. Like, that's not going to work. Yeah. So, you do all the precautions that you possibly can, obviously hand sanitizer, washing your hands, wearing the correct, if you are a first responder, whatever you're out there doing, the correct PPE, and just, being mindful of certain things, that I think that you minimize your risk enough that between that, your immune system, and the universe, like, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, you got it. So don't let those things get carried away, get away from you. You know what I mean? It's as much as possible. Stressing about it is not going to make it happen, and it's not going to make it not happen. Just being proactive and living your life. Like, that's all you can do. You know what I mean? In those spaces. So we're all under stress. We're all under, you know what I will say about this? I think that this, two things, and you can tell me what your thoughts are. I know, two things. One, I don't think that we realize how social we are.
Right.
Like how social as humans that we are until it was taken away from us. And the fact that we're not able to be as social and as connected as we generally are in the smallest of ways, we are, that has obviously really magnified itself to a degree that we are completely uncomfortable, and we realize how big that is to us, you know what I mean, to just everyday life.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is that this is magnifying the legitimate status of your life, whatever that status is, right? So if you are, God bless these people in relationships, who are not happy, y'all really ain't happy. Like right now is trying times. Check on your friends that were in the middle of freaking divorces or separating, because they are about to kill each other.
Well, but also in the same tone, like that also forces them to really look at it, right? Like that really forces the issue in front of you versus being able to it does. It absolutely does. It distracts all the other distractions of social media and this and the other, blah, blah.
Yes.
And everyday life. Now you are forced to deal with it.
Yes, you're forced to deal with it, but I don't think it's necessarily making it better. I think it's.
Oh, I don't think it's going to make any of it better. If you were divorced, then you should get a divorce. But what I'm saying is forcing you to really be in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you have to. Because there's no escape.
Yeah, there's no space.
There's no escape. You can't go visit your friends. No. You can't go visit that other friend that you were starting a friendship with. That friend. Yeah, can't visit them either. You have no choice but to deal with the one you're with.
Yeah. I'm sure people are getting around it. I'm sure that there's, I'm sure. I feel like there's
other things happening.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably more to that. But yeah,
there's probably some different kind of Zoom and FaceTimes going on.
Or that. That's neat.
It's the truth. But I'm just saying. But it all actually, jokes aside. But if you're happy, then right now, it's your level of contentment is being exhibited, right? Like you're able to see that you're not stressed about. You're like, because that's the state that you are truly in. It wasn't fabricated. It's not fake. It wasn't based off of all these other things. Like that's genuinely where you are. So I think whatever state that you were honest to goodness, like to the core of you in, is being magnified. So you may have thought life was status quo, but now and I'm not talking about just general, like I'm bored or I'm kind of restless. I mean, I think everybody's in that place, but I'm talking about you feeling like, you can't be in a place of like being by yourself, or you are completely, you know what I mean? All these other things that was always there. And now it's being magnified because there's nothing to distract from it.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say this though, on the social aspect of it, you were talking about, how we're having to physically socially distance and we're not able to do something. I tell you what, if we're not some resilient MFers though, like this.
Yeah, we find a way.
Before, but like
we find a way.
We're not playing around, and it gives people the opportunity to still connect with people that they want to connect with.
Right.
Even though it's not in person, but I think that because we're so good at this and because social media was a thing, and I'm not trying to give social media a whole bunch of credit.
Wow.
This is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
Well, it has to.
People have been super creative.
Yeah.
I think that we all thrive on productivity and being creative on some level, regardless of what that looks like for you. Say you're good at drawing, say you're good at singing, whatever it is that you're good at. Now is the opportunity to really focus on that and
truly shine in those places.
What else are we doing?
Photo shoots in our bedroom.
I put googly eyes on cans of food in my pantry just to surprise my family.
That's awesome.
6:99 at Amazon. Check it out. Yeah. We're gonna do my youngest and I. We're gonna do a little deck garden of like herbs, plants, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a green thumb, but he is, and it's something that we can do together and as a family. And why not?
Yeah. You got to start figuring out what's next.
Time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to start figuring out what's next. And I know the other part about that. See, and you have the good fortune of having older children.
Yes.
I know that people with younger children are really struggling.
I can't imagine.
Trying to keep them, engaged and preoccupied and entertained and all those kind of things. And it's funny because I was actually talking to somebody about this, how when we were young, like this time, like what is happening right now, that's basically what we grew up in. Like there was you had to make imaginary games.
Right.
Like you had to go outside and have imaginary friends and like there was no this instant gratification of having to go, I got to go to the mall and the movies and this and that. No, you rode your bike up and down the street for hours.
Yeah, it got dark and mom called you in for dinner or whatever.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. You turned the water hose outside and you ran through the sprinklers. Like that's what
was a good time though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Still going on.
I like to get sticks and then like whittle the end of it and pretend that I was like out in the woods or something, and I would like stab at peach trees and things. It was weird. I wouldn't eat it though because I could not eat fruit off of a stick, but it was fun. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
You gave 400 kids an idea to go outside, sharpen, stabbing implements, and all is well in the world.
I'm sorry. All right.
Well,
you know what? I also used to take the peaches and smash them and try to make peach juice. That just turned into a hot damn mess. I don't know. Listen. We weren't allowed in the house.
Like diarrhea, yeah.
We weren't allowed in the house. We had to stay outside.
They were like, find something to do.
Yeah, for hours.
Until we tell you otherwise.
Yeah. Couldn't even come in for a drink. Had to drink out the water hose. Like there was no.
That was the best drink ever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying. So this is not foreign to us, but to these kids, this is like unnatural.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. What do you mean I have to ride my bike for hours? What do you mean I have to get on that skateboard? What do you mean I have to hopscotch? Do any kids even know what hopscotch is?
Potentially. There's a lot of stuff going around like in developments and stuff where you're not out in the country, but they're like doing like these little chalk obstacle courses, so like you can follow like a path and different activities. Yeah, there's a couple of them going around the internet. Yeah, that was pretty neat.
So here's the other part about this. That's like when you talk about coping, because I like you said the thing about community and the neighborhood, or so some people are coping very well.
Yeah.
Some people not so much. Not so much. And again, I think that goes back to the magnification of what is actually going on and happening inside you, right?
Yeah, I think it's a reflection, 110%.
Right. And so if you're in a place where you are generally kind of an angry or uptight person, or just have poor coping mechanisms in general, again, this is magnifying all of those things that are in you. And some of the level of ugly is like,
it's bad.
Yeah. Like not okay.
That's really unfortunate.
It is, but you know what I mean? So here's the thing. Here's some of the takeaways and the lessons from this, because obviously this isn't going to last forever.
Right.
But when things return and resume to normal, like a high level of self-reflection is necessary to go back and go, that was not the better part of me. Like, what was happening to me in that place? You know what I mean? Because you have people who are legitimately like, cussing people out, throwing stuff, acting like, just out of control.
Rows of toilet paper, just being generally selfish.
Yes. Just acting like crazy, yelling at people. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, all right. You very clearly need to we need to dial that all the way down. Like you are doing the mostest right now. So again, if you're in that place, and I hate to take away from it because I don't want to in any way, shape, or form like belittle the stressors that people are under. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is how you are coping with that stress is an indicator of some of the strengths, and we're not going to say weaknesses, areas of improvement,
right,
that are in you. You know what I mean? So if you are finding yourself being like, like literally this is like taking the whole entire life out of you, then it's like, okay, I need to really like push and develop in this area. You're being challenged in a place that, your little muscles ain't the strongest in.
And I think by that same token, though, it also takes a level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Really go, hey, I'm being a nut and I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because this isn't who I want to be or who I truly am. And I think that I don't know how do you recognize that if you haven't recognized it this far?
because you're to a degree that is beyond, like, it might be occasional every now and again. This is like, I would think you yourself would feel that tension and that anxiety and angst like consistently at this point.
Right.
But also people's reaction to you should also be an indicator that you're doing the most.
And some people, literally, you and I both know people that don't recognize that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you, at some point, do they just realize they have no friends left, or do they realize that they are pissing everybody off in the grocery?
Nobody wants to be, when you're being called into human resources via Zoom.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and I think the other thing though, so I don't want to stop there because I don't want it to sound like we're just harping on these people in particular.
Yeah.
Outside of, if you're not self-aware, I think as self-aware people, it's our responsibility to lovingly show them.
Tell people. Yeah.
So, and not be like, hey, you're being stupid, but hey, listen, I see you. I hear you. I know this sucks. We are all in this, and it is a moment and a space that nobody is comfortable with.
Right.
How are you?
Right.
If whoever's taken 16 rolls of toilet paper, I know I've been to the toilet paper thing. I'm a little bitter. Clearly, I need to work on that area of improvement. Anyway, if you see that, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Or and this could be a complete stranger. Those are those moments that are being created right now that may have not been ever before. Right. And maybe this is the opportunity for them to kind of go, hey, you know what? I am being a little over the top.
Yeah.
That's because I'm feeling scared as hell.
Right.
Whether it's warranted or not, that's reality. People are legitimately frightened, right? Like they're legitimately.
Oh yeah.
I can't step outside or I'm going to get the COVID.
Right. Oh, it's just I think there's a healthy level of concern.
Right.
And I think that there is a out of control, just fear, like mongering, just type atmosphere as well. And that's not helpful to anybody. You know what I mean?
And I blame social media a lot.
Oh, absolutely. The media, social media, gossip and rumors, and just, you know what I mean? Not educating yourself on what is factual, but taking with, anecdotally, oh my God, so-and-so's aunt's cousin's mom's second, third, fifth cousin on their sister's baby's cousin side died from COVID, and it took them out in 2 minutes. It's like, stop.
Let's
take a breath. Look at what the medical community is saying. What are they asking you to do? And just stay there. Like, just live in that lane. Turn the news off. I can't even tell you. I don't even watch the news. I don't, because it's on loop and it's ridiculous, like over and over and over.
It's so over exaggerated, right?
Yes.
They can't get their numbers right. They can't get this right. Here's the fact, right? There's a virus.
Right.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It can be bad. Here's how you protect yourself and the rest of the public.
Yeah. Yeah. And let that be that.
Things. And we can move on.
Yeah.
And it will affect some people differently. Like that's just
anything does.
That's any disease process.
Anything does.
Like if you get a cold, it develops into pneumonia. You end up in the hospital because somehow your genetics play into it. But I get the same thing, and I'm going to be okay.
Right.
But that fear is just completely amplified by fake news.
Yeah.
Like you said, gossip.
Oh my God, I hate that term. But
random people with their third cousins, aunts, brothers, sisters, dog.
Yeah.
Had corona and deadly, but again, not to minimize people's fear. And
it's not to minimize people's experiences, because people, you're right. People are legitimately sick. People are legitimately going through, but that doesn't mean that everybody does. It's not an absolute. There's no absolutes.
Right.
So there are also people who are on the end of the spectrum who have gotten it and never even knew they were sick. Yeah. That's how mild and minimum, you know what I mean? It was. So, there's no, again, the best thing that you can, and even if you do get sick, this is not oh my God, I'm going to die. It's okay. Take care of yourself, be healthy, get rest, drink plenty of fluids, stay away from other people. Like, it's just, you still stay in it. Yeah. Self-monitor yourself. Make sure that, if you need to go to the hospital, you do. Like, this doesn't mean there's no absolutes. There's no absolutes. And we just have to stay away from that. And I think that it's really important right now that we're in a place of self-care. And a part of self-care is the information that you allow into your spirit, the information that you allow to play on loop in your head. If you continuously are watching the news or looking at this Facebook feed and like, listen, my mom, I was 2 seconds. She's going to see this episode and she's going to, I was 2 seconds away from blocking her. I love you, Gail. I love you. I was 2 seconds away from blocking and deleting her. I'm not even kidding you, because all she was doing was sending me nonstop pictures of tanks. My mom's in California. Pictures of tanks. Oh my God, the National Guard's taking over. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. I was like, Mom, stop it. There's no hand sanitizer. Eric, can you please send me hand sanitizer? I was like, no, I can't. I'm not. Well, if something happens to me, they're going to know my daughter didn't send me. And I was like, yo,
take a breath.
Yo,
take a pause.
You are on like level
36.
No, 9,036,000. Yeah. And I need you to come down to like a 2.
Fair.
We got a lot of steps. We got a lot of steps that we need to bring down. Yeah. So I was like, Mom, I need you to chill out. You know what I mean? But finally, she came to her senses and she was like, but you know what it took? It took her being in a place of like getting very low and feeling like just, you know, just this like, I don't want to say depression, but just this like overwhelming kind of feeling and realizing, okay, I got to change something or, you know, this is going to go in a very bad place. And she's like, so she stopped watching the news. She stopped, you know, she just started paying attention to the stuff that she was taking in. And I'm like, and that's step one. Step one is what you feed yourself, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally.
Right.
And spiritually. What are you feeding yourself? Start there, you know? And then it's the outside stuff, what you were talking about. Get outside.
Yeah.
Get out the house. Yeah. Zoom.
Yes.
Talk to people. Get some hi friend. Get some FaceTime with people. You know what I mean?
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. So, you know, it's not the same. Yeah, I don't get to, you know, but look on the bright side. You don't have to shower if you don't want to. You don't even have to put pants on if you don't want to.
I may not have pants on.
Do you have pants on?
I have pants on.
I do have pants on. I have pants on.
You do have pants on. They don't match.
But it's okay. It's okay. Your shirt is cute.
Thanks. Less worry, more lake.
Yes. So you know what I mean? It's like, okay, watch what you're taking in, get out, get some physical activity, focus on what you can do instead of what you can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's comes down to like control, right? Like, yeah. We are so just in control all the time. And now this thing has been taken away from us. And it's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And that makes me nervous, you know?
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, or robot hands or knife hands.
Knife hands. Yeah.
You can always do knife hands.
Did some knife hands. No,
but yeah.
Here's the other thing. And I think it definitely warrants being said, but not maybe on such a global scale. Anyway, those people with some base medical knowledge, may be in a little bit better position to handle it.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
And I say that not everybody. Like there's still those innate fears that people have because of the COVID. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the people that are in a medical profession might have a little bit more of an understanding as to why we're doing certain things, why we're quarantining, why we're masking, why we're wearing different, you know, eye protection, so on and so forth, versus general public who's never had to put a mask on before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so now I got to do this to go where? Like, this doesn't make sense. And that just builds to the fear.
Perpetuates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is. This is very unprecedented. Like, this is not something that we have ever lived through before where we're going out into the store. It's very weird to go out and everybody has masks on and we're all standing. I mean, now we are a country of social distancing in general. I mean, we do believe in our personal space.
Yeah. Remember Italy?
Yeah.
You were like, please back up.
It makes me so, you know what? I know. Side note. So I travel a lot, right?
This is probably the best.
I travel a lot. I travel outside of the country a lot, right? And I love it. But here's one of the biggest issues that I have. Other countries don't adhere to personal space the way that we in America and Americans do. We believe in, give me like, a few feet. Like I need at least 3, right? So you go to these other countries and people are like literally like right up on you. Right. They're like, what are you doing? I got no, you're in my face. I could smell what you had for lunch. You're way too close to me right now, right? So
I'm like, give me a hug. Like
that's so upsetting to me.
I know, that's why it's so much
fun.
Oh
my God. No, it literally, like every time I go someplace, I have to calm myself down and remind myself, you're on vacation. This is not your country. Just calm down. It's not that serious. So here's one of the other things. Okay. So those that know me know that I am very germaphobe, right? I'm very
super
germaphobe. Like I have this whole all this washing of the hands and not whatever. That's the status of my home.
That's her status.
This is nothing new to me. This is what I've always been doing. Okay, so we would be in other countries. Like we went to Italy for my 40th birthday. We're on the way back. If I'm lying, correct me. Every single place that we were in, people are like hacking and coughing and sneezing and not covering their mouth. Literally, we're in the airport and people are like this. I'm like, it is sending me into fits. Like my whole entire soul is vexed.
It got so
killing me.
It got so good entertainment-wise for the rest of us, though, that every time somebody would cough or sneeze, we'd be like this.
And look right at me.
I'd be like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And this would be fun. You'd be like a cat that just, not a cat, a deer in the headlights. She'd be like.
And it's so terrible because you realize you're in a different country, so you can't get like too crazy. But at the same time, you want to turn around and be like, "Are you serious right now? Nobody wants your germs." And what people don't understand, a sneeze like that travels far. That has some freaking velocity to it. Like that's not a game. It's got velocity. It's coming out your mouth at like 50 miles an hour. Okay, get away from me.
I'm surprised.
Cover your mouth.
You practiced really good self-restraint on that.
I did. It was, you saw, it was taking everything out of me. And I feel like it was God. We just talked about this today. That
my area of improvement.
If there is an area that you are struggling with, that you seem to like, it seems like God just continuously puts you in that scenario until you like develop patience in it or whatever. Yo, that is an area for me.
Yeah.
And those people were everywhere.
Oh, not even like
everywhere.
Oh
God. Like your mouth is open, sir. Your mouth is open.
Cover your mouth. So Autumn was prepared for this.
I was prepared for this.
Yeah.
I was. So this, I don't have any fears about any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I will say this. I do want to touch on something that we would not normally touch on, but I think it's important, right? So, spiritually, I have heard some, and not from like my, like immediate friendship circle, but just from like kind of my outside circle and just in general things, of people feeling like, this is God. This is God, angry at the world, angry at people, making his presence known, kind of like plagues from like biblical days and all these other different things. Okay. I think that is extremely irresponsible to be perpetuating that message. I don't like the idea. God is a God of justice, 1000%. But God is a loving God, and God is a patient God, and he this idea of striking people down with sickness in like, you know, I'm mad at you. You ain't that. Ha, you're dead now. Like that. Stop it. Stop it. And because then you introduce a new set of fear in the sense of people who truly are in a place of trying to work their spirituality out, trying to get to know God, trying to figure it out, trying to do these things. And then you put this fear on them that, oh, if you get sick, it's because God's mad at you. Like people don't need that. They do not need that kind of stress. They don't need that kind of anxiety. They don't need that kind of nonsense. So I'm just want to throw that out there. Not that that was necessarily, you know, the top, like where we were with things right now, you know, with this conversation in general. But since we're touching on how this affects people, and it affects people on so many different levels, that I have seen it affecting people, even like within my family on that level of that fear spiritually of, oh my goodness, if I get sick, does this mean that God is mad at me or that I'm not, whatever. And I'm saying, stop that. Stop it. That is not of God. And I don't, that kind of stuff gets me like amped, hype, mad, because I feel like it's a poor representation of what God is and what his spirit is.
And I, I'm not necessarily in that same space as far as belief system, and that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I guess what I'm saying is I feel like they're, like we talked about earlier, people acting out of their fear. Yeah. I think that's where that's coming from. If we don't have an answer for this, then it must be this. You know what I mean? They have to give a face to what they can't understand or comprehend. You know, I on a science side, or on the science perspective, if you will, we were due. The fact that something big like this hasn't happened yet, demographically and geographically speaking, is crazy. We've done a really good job, especially this day and age, with how our transportation systems are set up and how we are just here at the drop of a hat, that something big hasn't happened yet. And that this is big, I will say that, but it's not, it could be worse, right? Like it could always be worse.
Well, let's not say that anything could always be worse, but we don't want to.
No, but I mean worse on a level of, we're not dealing with martial law. We don't have tanks rolling down the street and making people stay in their houses. Because you and I both know that we go out on any given day. You can't tell me that 98% of the people that are out doing what they're doing they don't need to be.
I was like, I know all these people aren't essential. I know they're not.
What is going on?
Yeah. This is just as much traffic today as it was 6 months ago. I don't understand what's happening.
And here's the thing. So I don't know where you want to go with this. So give me some guidance here. I was just going to talk about there's other countries that haven't quarantined or haven't asked their citizens to stay in place, because their mentality is, let's just get this over with. Yeah. Have a big population get sick. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. And then you're going to build up your immunity. And we're going to go about our business.
You know what they're like? They're like the mom that when one of their kids gets chicken pox, they go, get in there and do it. Just get in there and do it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, mom was like, no, screw this. We're not doing this multiple times. Go get this nasty chicken pox and be
right.
Yeah, no. I think that there's so many ways to play this out, and everybody's just trying to do the best they can with the tools that they have, right? Like,
well, history will look back and tell us what was right and what was wrong.
Yeah.
You have scientists and you have doctors and you have epidemiologists who are like, this is what they do, right? So, they're going to figure out the plan and what is best globally, or at least try to anyway. Right. And there will be lessons learned. But each person can only really, again, focus on themselves, right? Yeah. I don't have any control over what my neighbor is doing. I don't have any control over what the person across the street is doing. And when you take on that level of like anxiety and responsibility that you got to be the freaking police to whatever, oh my God, you're not social distancing. Oh my God, you're not like, that's it. That's all you got. That's you. Just bring it down to just that.
Yeah.
And let everybody worry about themselves, and we will figure this thing out, you know what I mean, together. But minimize the stress.
Yeah, and I think that the sense of community, at least from the things that I've seen and witnessed myself personally, not so much from social media or other
Yeah.
things. We have seen the bad, right? We've seen the dude who was really close to me in the grocery store, and I was really uncomfortable, but it's okay.
You should have told him.
I can only handle myself, right? So I took a couple steps forward.
Right.
It's not a big deal. But at the same time, I've seen some really good things that people have been doing for one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have really seen the love and compassion that has come forward despite being scared,
Yeah.
despite the fear, despite the confusion, despite not knowing.
Yeah.
There's been some really incredible acts of kindness and love that have been coming forward, and I know that's just from what I've seen, but I know that it exists everywhere else. You know.
Well, look, let me say this: shout outs to all these people who are feeding essential personnel, because yo, I ain't paid for lunch in like a minute.
Well, and that was you brought up another point, and I don't mean to turn this around.
Shout outs to y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
No, it is truly a blessing to be an essential personnel during this time, regardless of what that looks like.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't feel like a blessing sometimes, we still have paychecks. We still have benefits. We still have food to give our families. And I know that a lot of people are really working to support the first responders and the essential personnel by donating food and such. But I would also ask that people do the same for those that don't get to work, that don't have a paycheck coming in, that don't have benefits that are coming into their pockets right now. That is, I cannot imagine already in a space where we're worried about a virus that now I have to worry about my well-being in the future, because I don't know what tomorrow looks like, and that's fearful in and of itself.
Now, can I? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to.
So my biggest takeaway there was just, I know we all appreciate it. The outpouring of love for essential personnel has been incredible. You see it all the time on TV, but to also recognize and understand that there's a lot of kids, a lot of families that aren't getting meals on a regular basis. So I don't know what that looks like, because I had thought about some stuff too. Like, I'm just me, and I know I can cook, girl. I can make some spaghetti and some plant-based stuff that nobody wants to eat, but
nobody.
Listen,
nobody.
How do we give back to those that are really struggling,
So two things let me start with this, and I know this is going to come across sounding,
I cannot wait for this.
I know it's going to come across sounding a little gangster, but it's not. I promise it's not. So I think a lot of times we have become a society of people who, the minute we get hit and there's not an immediate solution, there's not immediate gratification handed to or laid right in front of us, we kind of crumple and roll over and go, oh my God, it's the end of the world, right? When if we literally just got up and like put the smallest effort and looked around the corner, there's all these resources, there's all this stuff, right? So I think that it's hugely important that, like right now, horrible place to be in to not be working, to be, you work at a retail store or whatever, and those places are closed, and you're at home, or you're a restaurant, waitresses, bartenders, all those different people who are not physically able to go to work right now, and there is no working from home.
Right.
Don't just sit on the couch and be upset that this is not happening, when schools are giving away free lunches and breakfasts for the kids, when credit card companies are giving extensions on, for months, when mortgage companies are giving extensions on mortgages and rent for months. Like, you have to do a little bit of work and research, but that some of that responsibility, it's hugely important that you get active and involved and engaged so that you can get every resource that is out there for you. So it's a terrible spot to be in. And that's why I said, I don't want to come across that in gangster, because I know I'm not in that space, and I'm thankful for that. But I also know that there are resources to be able to assist you. And it's important that you get those resources, but nobody's going to come to you with it. You have to be responsible in taking that move to pick up the phone and make that phone call. I just don't want anybody to wither in that place. I don't want anybody to get there and shut off.
but I think it still comes back to that level of self-awareness. You know, we're talking about folks that may not know that that stuff even exists.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's our responsibility as a community. It's our responsibility as human beings to help each other out and pick each other up and help them get to where they need to be. And I don't know, like I said, I'm not saying that we need to go pick people up by the bootstraps. That's also something you need to do for yourself if you're in that space. But if you don't know what that looks like, or if you're in a space.
Oh my God, you're frozen. Okay, that was really weird. That was really weird.
It looked like you had a legit stroke.
I was like, ah.
You were this. I was like, oh damn.
Oh God. So anyway, to pick crazy. This is the joys of Zoom and new technology, figuring it out. So to pick up where we left off, though, you said so. People don't know where those resources are.
Sometimes, not all the time, but you know, some people that are struggling may not understand or fully know where to even start to look. This isn't a typical situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And getting bad information from social media, getting bad information from regular media, getting bad information from your family and friends. Like, right. There's nothing that you can do, but then there's like 6 things you can do. I get that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really appreciate the fact that people are reaching out to first responders and essential personnel. But you know, how can we turn that into a community outreach versus just a very specific group? I'm not trying to minimize, because I'm one of them, and I really appreciate the outpouring of love and kindness and everything else that's come our way. But I like I said, I get a paycheck. I have stability currently. I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I don't have to worry. It's always going to be there, you know. But yeah, so that's something I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks too. Just, you know, how do we
of ways to help? Yeah,
how do we give back to our community at large, not just to select groups?
Right, absolutely. So I think obviously the biggest thing is you know, you can't help everybody.
Oh yeah, no.
So picking the demographic, or picking the need, I guess, that you want to kind of fulfill, and one, either, you know, kind of piggybacking on what someone else is doing, which is, you know, completely fine and appropriate. Or figuring out what the lane is that you want to be in, you know, even if it's you want to donate board games to kids, you know what I mean, or give them away. So it's like, you know, you buy a bunch of board games and you just stand outside of, you know, whatever, some location, and till you give them away. You know, every kid that walks by gets one.
Or buy somebody's groceries.
Right. Or that.
Or as long as I'm not buying 16 rolls of toilet paper.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that now people are being limited, that they can only do like 1 or 2. Thank God.
5 family members at a time.
Yeah. You have a 5-year-old standing there with a roll of toilet. You're like, stop it. Yeah. Yeah. 2 per household. That's it. 2 per household. So, I mean, I think, you know what I mean? It's picking the demographic, or figuring out what you want to do. Right. Within your means, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and doing that thing that you can, whatever it is that you can do, you know? And a lot of times, you know, people think it's monetary, and it's not necessarily, because there's even people who are still bringing home money currently. They still got the same financial problems now that they had before this thing jumped off. So, you know, you may not financially be in a place of being able to do that, but we all have talent.
Access service.
We all have a skill set. So, you know, I mean, if you can sew somebody something. If you can draw
pants that need to be.
You know what I'm saying? Well, there you go. If you can draw somebody a picture. If you know what I mean, make the kids a little coloring books and pass those out. Like, everybody can do something. Everybody has a talent or something.
Absolutely.
You know, if you can sing, sing us into a happy, joyful place, right? I mean, like, whatever it is, it doesn't have to necessarily be financial. Right. So I think, and that also puts you in a better place. Whenever you are giving of yourself, it's encouraging. When you're encouraging and inspiring other people, it encourages and inspires you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could not agree more. And I think that's a great place to wind up our motivation by.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hang in there. Like, here's the other thing about it. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
This is not specific to any one person, any one group, any one gender, any one demographic. Like, everybody is struggling. So if there was ever a time to feel like, you know, all for one and one for all, this is it. Like, this is it. We are in it with the world. Like, the world is in it, right? So change your perspective on some of that stuff and realize it's not just you, you know? I will say this also. I think it's hugely important for older people, parents, aunts, uncles, friends, grandparents, whatever, to be paying attention to their kids and their moods and where they are. We joked about the fact that we grew up in spaces like this when we were young, so we're very used to it. But this generation of kids is not used to it. And so they can get to feel very isolated and depressed and, you know, in some cases suicidal very quickly in spaces that we don't understand, because like, this isn't a place that I feel like I want to kill myself in, but there some people are like legitimately are in that space because this is so far out of their comfort zone and it's so overwhelming and there's so much going on that it just compounds, again, magnifying where you were before this started. So just making sure that you are keeping an eye on them and recognizing the signs beyond just the normal. My son, I would say like sleeping all day, but damn if that kid don't do that, like he ain't depressed, not one. But you can't tell. This dude don't get out of bed before 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
I got my kids up. I'm telling you, I don't like it. I don't like getting up early, but we do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think you know, another motivation thing that I definitely wanted to mention too was, if we don't come out of this different, if we don't come out of this changed in some way and for the better, it doesn't have to be for the worse. If we are able to really tap into that creativity and that part of us to carry on to the next phase of whatever this is, whatever this looks like, we shouldn't come out of this not having changed something about ourselves in a good way, right? Yeah. Like, tap into those resources. Those are things that you've not had to look at or deal with or be intuitive about. So these are all really good positives that are coming from a really negative situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we hope that in walking away from this episode that you feel better about realizing and understanding that we're all going through this. We can get through this. We're going to get through this. It's not going to last forever. There are some very real things that you can do to get yourself kind of out of the funk that you're in. And part of it is smiling. Just, you know what? I'm just going to smile. Why? I don't know. Just be the Joker. Just walk around with a smile on your face. Ain't nothing going on. You just like,
look, put googly eyes on cans.
Just googly eyes on the cans, whatever you got to do to get yourself in a joyful place. And you know what? Here's the other thing that I've been doing. I've been doing whatever I want to do. How about that? So instead of, no, for real, I know it sounds crazy, but if I want to eat ice cream for breakfast, that's exactly what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So if those are the things that kind of like bring you joy,
do it.
Do it. If you want to have breakfast for dinner every day of the week, why not?
Play a new game, sing a new song.
You want to eat on the china? Eat on the china.
I don't even have china.
Some people do, and they've been waiting for a special occasion. This is it.
Look, I'll pull those off the wall. We eat with them.
Boom. Yeah. Put your fancy perfume on. It ain't got to be for nobody. Be for yourself. Yes. I'm just saying, right? Get up and shower and do your hair.
Yeah. Which you have, and it looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Do your eyebrows. Put some lashes on.
Quarantine has been good to you.
It has allowed me to be a woman again.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm like, I'm just going to go put a dress on at some point.
Just do it. You know what? Put your wedding dress back on. Try it. Just do it.
I have to wrap around in a lot of ways since that one.
Well, you have, yes. But some people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would like dress or something.
Yes. Why not? Why not? Like, you know what I mean? Do what makes you happy and what makes you smile. This is the place to be able to do those ridiculous things that may not make sense or would not normally have made sense. Do them now. If it's going to make you smile and make you happy, have at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you want to have sex in the middle of the afternoon, do it. You ain't got to wait till the sun goes down. Have fun.
Just kidding. They're not there.
I'm saying whatever's going to bring you joy.
Like the craziest thing to end on.
I know.
If you want to have sex in the afternoon, have sex in the afternoon.
You want to have sex while you're watching this episode? Do you, boo? YOLO. Live your life. We don't want to see it, but I'm just saying if it makes you happy. If it makes you... Okay. Sorry. We can have her edit that part out. I got carried away.
Hey, you went from here to where?
I was on a roll. I was.
Yeah. No. If you want to have sex while watching this episode, please do.
I'm sorry, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I'm sorry. It gets away from me sometimes. I'm sorry.
It's like my mom. All of a sudden she'd be like, then Cheetos in your butt. I'm like, no. Nuh-uh. No. Don't even know what that is, but no. Still no.
It's never okay. There's never a time that's going to be okay.
Right?
Never.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh God. Listen, we love you.
We love you.
We hope you guys have a fantastic week.
Stay healthy, stay safe.
Stay healthy, stay safe, stay
nice.
free as much as possible.
Yes.
Reach out to your friends, Zoom. And listen, if you have found things that are helping you to stay grounded and sane and that you are whatever, like, leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to read about them. And maybe they will inspire and motivate somebody else. Maybe you can put down a suggestion that someone else can look at and go, oh my God, you know what? I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm going to encourage, I'm going to suggest that you try this. I spent 5.5 hours on TikTok.
Don't do it. Get off of that. Stop. Don't do it.
Hey, look, if we turn towards each other, it looks like we're talking to each other.
This is the level of sadness we have.
This is why Zoom is amazing. Anyway, all right.
We should, you know what? We should have spent the entire episode like that. Oh, friend, what? Hey. Oh my God, we totally just figured this out.
Although this is a better angle for me anyway.
That's actually, this is my good side. Do you see this glow on my face? Oh my God. I'm going to have to tell you about the highlight.
Beautiful makeup, but you're welcome because I told you where to put the light.
Yeah. Thank you, friend.
I got your back there. Gotcha.
Okay. On that note, we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Bye.
Wait. Follow us on all of our social media. I always forget this. Follow us on all of our social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, subscribe, leave your comments below. We love you. We'll see y'all next week. Keep it together.
Yes.